So I think I would say the biggest expenses are going to be make it look good so that people want to use it, and
Mm,
put it in the place where people are so that they know about it so that they can come in, and then make sure they bring some value, like some very clear, very specific value, right? So in this case, it's like people needed this and they just like it was so easy to get everybody signed up once we figured out the whole cost thing that yeah, it's really great. But people have to want it. They have to come in and say, "Hey, I heard about this thing. I need that. Can I get it?" And if it's too complicated, it's not great, right? It's nice when it's just a single thing that people want that they come to look for.
okay, cool. Okay, I hear a couple things. I think number one, you're saying like as far as technical scaling, stick with the cloud providers and also don't look to like revolutionize your tech stack until there's kind of like a real engineering reason to do so. So if you started out with web scraping, SMS, and a little, two or three Docker containers, keep it like that as long as you can until there's some other strain on your system, some reason not to, because you blew up to 1,000 or 100,000 users, whatever it might be. That's one thing I hear you saying. Kind of in line with that. So in our engineering world, there's the famous, I think it was Kent Beck quote, make it work, make it right, make it fast.
Hmm.
And I think you just translated that to the product side as well. Number one, just make it work. Just add value, number one. Again, web scraping, SMS. Adds value, it works. There's not even a UI associated with it. It works, people are excited, people start using it. Step two, make it right. I like what you said what'd you say about the UI? Basically, like, make it really nice to use. Like the user experience, right? Like SMS might be fine, but maybe there's a better website, maybe there's a better flow of how they sign up. Maybe in the app, maybe you build an app just for the sign up piece to make it super, super streamlined and like easy, and it like remembers their data and it like transfers their data, whatever. But maybe like the delivery mechanism is still SMS because that's what's like the most easy for people to use. Like you said, notifications don't get missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the easy part, so to linger on this one for a bit, the easy part and the nice part, they're like, what does nice mean, right? What does easy mean?
Yeah.
For me, the ultimate measure is time. The less time they spend having to interact with your stuff, the easier it is.
The less time the user spends having to deal with your system, that's an indicator that the easier that it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And nice too, which is weird. So
Mm,
that's where I'm at now, and I'm not sure that I'm right. And this is like I'm like out on a discovery tour of like, is that like, is there some weird magical thing where users land on a page and they're like, oh, this page makes me feel so good that I like this product, or is it really just because I know me, but again, like we went through that. It's like, I tend to dismiss emotions, right? So it's
yeah.
like I just I need to get something done, right? I'm going to the bank and I don't care how the software makes me feel. I really just want to know what my account balance is. And if I can do if I can do that in three things, then and be done, then I'm gonna be like, hey, that's cool. These guys are like they respect my time and they respect the fact that I'm just there to find something out. Not their promotions, not their like
Hmm.
holiday sales, not their like nice pictures. And again, I don't know if it's mostly just me, but for this text messaging stuff, I was going to build a UI where people could go in and sign up and check things, and then it was like, well, I already have a medium of interaction. I need two things from them. One is what phone number do you want messages, and who do you want me to monitor? And all I need to publish is one phone number. You send your message or your name to that phone number. If I can match it to somebody in the system, boom, I have the number and the name, and that's it. I go to a tournament as a user, and I literally like the numbers, like there's even a QR code, but even that's like pointless because it's literally just a number, and you text to it, and you send your name.
Okay. Okay. No, actually, I really like that. I really like because I'm like, oh, build a web UI for it, and you're even kind of pushing back, like, look, if all I need is a number, the challenge is like, what data do I really, really need, bare minimum, and how do I collect that data from my users in the most least painful, intuitive way possible. And you're right. I mean, like there's still nothing easier than pulling up my messaging app and just plugging in a phone number and starting to text. I mean, it's sort of
Hmm.
like that was the magic of AI, right? It's like it's a text-based thing. Like it's super accessible to anybody. So It's like if you could make your app or your value proposition accessible via text messages, there's just nothing better than that. Um,
Yep.
Dude, I think you're obviously all good answers start with it depends. But I think that you're right though, that I think a lot of time, especially in our day and age with all the social media influence, there's a pressure of like success is people spending time in your app. And we actually fought that at one of my previous gigs. There was like this admin piece of software for the back office that people were using. And at one point, the powers that be came down and said, hey, we want to increase people's time on screen. And all of us who were kind of out there in the field sort of working with the people day to day were like, why would we possibly want our users, our admin users, like they need to be out there like handling customers. It was a car sharing app. And so it's like, you're intaking cars, you're talking with customers, you're cleaning cars. There's a lot of like physical activity on the lot every day. The less amount of time they spend looking at the app, looking for information, trying to make decisions, that's the real measure of success. But the powers that be, I think, didn't quite make that connection. So they're like, what features can we do for people to spend more time here? We're like, and we fought it. I don't know that we ever won in the end. I think they just changed priorities at some point. But it was an eye opener to me. It's like, yeah, no, like a really successful app. It's so successful you almost don't even know it's there. Like you said with that
Hmm.
banking, you're not going to think, oh, this software made me happy, but it really is the software that's allowing you to get in and out as quick as possible. You're thinking the bank made me happy, but it's really the software, if it's done right, that allowed that to happen.